What's going on, everybody, and welcome back once again to the channel. And before we get into today's video, make sure to subscribe and smack that like button. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my post week 4 USFL power rankings. So let's begin. Coming in at number 8, the Pittsburgh Maulers once again. They had another loss this week. They're the only winless team, and we're already kind of deep into the season now. Not deep into the season, but well into the season. They actually gave the Generals, though, a pretty tough game. They hung in there. They've given all their opponents pretty tough games. They've actually, all their games have been close, except, funny enough, against the Panthers, who, in my opinion, is the second worst team. So the Panthers coming in at number 7. Panthers lose again, this time in heartbreaking fashion. They missed a 21-yard game-winning field goal to win the game, and missing it means they lost because they were only down by 2. Very tough loss for Jeff Fisher and his squad. Coming in at number 6, I have the Gamblers, who have now lost 3 in a row after that Week 1 win. The Gamblers, though, have proved to be better than I thought even after that Week 1 game, because they just look kind of sloppy and not good in that Week 1 game, even though it was a win. But they've hung in there against the best of the best since they have since that game. Against the Stallions, they only lost by 5. Against the Breakers, who they just played this week, it was a tie game with 20-something seconds to go, and then Jonathan Adams makes an insane catch on with just 10 seconds left in the game. So against the Breakers, they only lost by 7, and against the Bandits, they lost in a final second field goal where they had the game. So the Gamblers, I mean, they can compete. They're a solid team. They just need to, make some more clutch plays in those big moments in games. Coming in at number 5, I have the Stars, who are at 2-2. The Stars obviously got that win, got almost in a way sort of lucky with that missed field goal by the Panthers, but a win's a win, and I think the Stars are the better team than the Panthers. They just kind of were playing a bit sloppy in that game, and you got to remember it was their first game without their quarterback Brian Scott, who is out for the year due to an injury, and now Cookus is the new quarterback for them, and he was still getting into rhythm. Coming in at number 4, I got the Tampa Bay Bandits, who are also 2-2. The Bandits lost this past week against the Stallions, but they proved that their defense is the real deal, holding the Stallions to just 16 points in that game. But take it with a grain of salt, because the starting quarterback for the Stallions was Alex Magoo. I don't understand why the Stallions are deciding to make Alex Magoo the starter over Jamar Smith. Jamar Smith has been the starter since the third quarter of Week 1, and the team was 3-0. And even though the team was able to win with Alex Magoo at quarterback, they did not win because of their offense. They won because of their defense. The final score was 16-10, but more on that in a bit. Coming in at number 3, I have the Generals, who are now 3-1. Struggled with the Pittsburgh Maulers, but a lot of teams have struggled with the Pittsburgh Maulers. All these teams are still very competitive. The Generals, they've officially kind of made DeAndre Washington the starter with heavy running, and Luis Perez still gets some snaps, but he really isn't the starting quarterback anymore. Their running game is lethal. Coming in at number 2, I got the Breakers still, who got that win over the Gamblers, and what was impressive about that win to me was their quarterback Sloter, my bad. He freaking threw 3 interceptions, and they still won that game. That defense is pretty darn good. The offense of the Breakers continued to put the defense in a tough spot, and they were able to hold the Gamblers to 16 points. So, that was a pretty impressive win for the Breakers, coming off of that tough loss against the Stallions. And then coming in at number 1, the Birmingham Stallions hold it. Again, they're the only undefeated team. They are 4-0. So going back to the whole quarterback thing with the Stallions, I just don't get it. Jamar Smith has been playing very well, and now just because Alex Magoo was the starter coming into the season, and he got hurt in Week 1, Jamar Smith came in, and he's been the starter ever since because Magoo was still injured. But Smith has been playing well, and now just because Magoo's back, you're making him the starter. Magoo didn't even play well in that first half before he got injured. And now you're basically going to just give him the job back, and the offense clearly did not look the same with Alex Magoo at quarterback. They did not. That offense was very shaky, despite them coming away with the win. So I don't like it. I think it's a terrible move on their part doing that, and we'll see what they do next week at quarterback. I mean, the only thing I can think of is they want to give Alex Magoo an opportunity to showcase his skills to try and get a spot in the NFL. But I mean, what I would say to that, if that indeed is the case, is, well, we're not worried about, as USFL coaches, you shouldn't be worried about getting your guys into the NFL. You should be worried about winning football games and putting in the guys that give you the best chance to win. And J'Mar Smith definitely gives you the best chance to win over Alex Magoo. So if that is the case, trying to give everyone an opportunity to showcase what they can do, I mean, that's just, this isn't an NFL audition. I mean, to players in the back of their minds, maybe, but at the end of the day, they're just still trying to win these football games to win a championship, So I don't like that move at all by the Stallions, but we'll see if they go back on it going into next week. But comment down below what you guys think about these rankings. And one little side note before we get off here is the Monday night games for the Monday night doubleheader for week 1 of the next NFL season has been leaked. It is Bills versus Titans and Eagles versus Vikings. So those should be 2 fun games. And yeah, can't wait until the whole schedule comes out this Thursday. I will be making a video the next day, this Friday, of predicting the entire 2022 through 2023 NFL season. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss it. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time.